The first thing I'm going to discuss is nitroglycerin. Nitroglycerin releases nitric oxide via a mitochondrial enzyme by the name of aldehyde dehydrogenase. I doubt that'll be tested on USMLE, but it may. This activates myosin light chain phosphatase. It's given intravenously as an infusion of 0.2 to 2 mics per kilo per minute, but you can actually bolus it at 20 mics at a time, and I've definitely bolused it when I'm doing aneurysmal cases in the operating room, or patients who come out post-cardiac surgery and they're too hypertensive and you're worried that the hypertension may lead to further bleeding. In general, when you give about 20 mics of nitroglycerin, your MAP decreases by about 15 to 20 torr. It works very fast, takes about 45 to 60 seconds to take effect. It lasts about 3 to 5 minutes, and you can often develop tachyphylaxis. In other words, that your body gets accustomed to it and you have to increase the dose to get the same effect. It's a very, very potent venodilator, much, much more than our arterial dilator. At a very high doses, so it does become an arterial dilator as well, but it's primarily used as a venodilator, and it's a very potent coronary artery dilator. Hence the reason sometimes patients who have stable angina are given sublingual nitroglycerin tabs. Side effects of nitroglycerin include reflex tachycardia, right? Because you get that systemic, that vasodilatation, so you get a decrease in preload in your heart rate. Your heart, with a decrease in preload, wants to have increase its output, and it does that by increasing its heart rate. You get vasodilatation of the cerebral vasculature, leading to headache, and it increases your risk for methemoglobinemia. Something that is tested often in the USMLE. You definitely want to avoid this in patients taking PD phosphodiesterase 5 inhibitors, such as sildenafil. You can get a very precipitous drop in your blood pressure, and that can last a long time, actually. You also have to be very careful in patients who have a myocardial infarction of the right ventricle. When you have an MI of the right ventricle becomes very preload dependent. So when you all of a sudden give nitroglycerin, you drop the preload, you can significantly drop your output and therefore your blood pressure. Okay. Not that it's when I was in medical school, I was taught that it was a contraindication. It's not a contraindication, but you have to be very aware about this. So if you give somebody nitroglycerin and they have a very severe drop in blood pressure, you should really begin to think about RV MI, which on 8 kg may be suspected by ischemic changes in the inferior leads, which is 2, 3, and AVF. That is suggestive of an inferior MI of the left ventricle, but the inferior left ventricle is perfused by the RCA, so something to think about is the right ventricle MI as well. Nitroglycerin is an alternative to phentolamine in patients who have vasopressor extravasation. What does that mean? Suppose that you are giving norepinephrine via a peripheral IV on the right hand, which I would never recommend in general. Vasopressor should be given centrally. But suppose it happens and it gets extravasated, you get very bad tissue necrosis. So what do? Number one is do not remove the peripheral IV. Using the same peripheral IV, you can take some phentolamine and you can inject it via the IV or sub-Q. Or if phentolamine is not available, you can actually give nitroglycerin as an ointment in the actual location of where the extravasation happened, and that basically counteracts the vasoconstriction from the vasopressor that extravasated.
Guys, thank you very much for watching. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share this video. Like it if you like it. If you don't like it, then don't like it. And then subscribe if you want more videos. We upload videos regularly, so if you subscribe to the channel, you can get a notification and the video will appear in your inbox. And if you hit the bell button as well, then you can get the notifications for this as well.